A massive thank you to Brismo, Cyrax, Perm, Kian and Regent for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Round 18 of the year, just 3 races to go of Season 2 of our F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. I know I say this a lot, but if you did miss yesterday's video from Mexico, please, I absolutely beg you go back and check it out. I'm not making this up in any way. It is probably the best race we're going to have on F1 2021. But we head to Sao Paulo this weekend there. Of course, we've got the 2 flyaway races at the end of the year. Plenty of R&D progress, though, in the works there. I think we've got, what, 6 upgrades currently going onto the car there. Can we get any more, actually, as we head towards Brazil this weekend? We have got another 1,000 R&D points in the back pocket at the moment. Then we need to try and wait, though, for our facility upgrades at the end of the year when, obviously, we get all of our R&D points through. Doesn't look like there's going to be much we can do. We can go with an intercooler upgrade, actually, as well. No, we can't because we've reached department capacity, so I think we'll have to hold on for now. Yeah, we'll have to hold on ready for next weekend once a couple of those parts have hopefully gone on the car as well there. But yeah, we head to Brazil, though, this time round. As you can see, championship-wise, still tied with Carlos Sainz there, but both George Russell and Lance Stroll have got past the pair of us here. The Lando Norris trying to close up over the 200-point mark as well, with Daniel Ricciardo still right behind him in that fierce battle of 4P2 in the Drivers' Championship. Let's dive in then here to Brazil. I can't believe I forgot to mention this in the intro of the video, but of course the driver votes for Season 3 is now live. We have confirmed we will not be re-signing Schwartzman. Safe to say he's not too happy about that either. But yeah, we've got 4 drivers in the running for our Season 3 teammate. Of course, that voting will shut when we get to Abu Dhabi in just a couple of days' time. So yeah, make sure you get your vote in if you want to have your say on who we sign ready for next season. The vote is between Valtteri Bottas of Williams, George Russell of Aston Martin, Pierre Gasly of AlphaTauri, and Jenson Button. Yeah, a bit of an outsider for that one. I'm intrigued to see how many of you guys do vote for him. I feel like he's either going to get about 2% or like 70, one extreme or the other, come the end of the year. But yeah, like I said, make sure you check out the community tab on the channel as well if you want to get involved with that. But at the moment, yeah, we just got to try and get into free practice this weekend here at Brazil. This should be... Ooh, that's a bit of understeer. That should be still the purple score, though, on this first practice program. At the final corner, yeah, this should be pretty easy done then, so that's reassuring on the tyre wear test. Nice purple score. Let's get into other programs. Heading out, though, onto the tyre wear... the fuel test, even, I should say. Let's just see if we can try and get another purple score here. We might have to lift and coast up towards the line. But, yeah, Brazil normally not too bad on fuel. So heading out then of the final corner, we're 3/4 of a second up, so hopefully a bit of a lift up towards the line. There we go, that is going to be a nice purple score.
Okay, test complete, and that was a very good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that.
Good little chunk of R&D points there. Fingers crossed we can have quite a normal running weekend this time around with all the grid penalties we've had in recent times. Let's dive into qualifying. Right, well here we are then, back in Sao Paulo for round 18 of the year here for qualifying. The threat of rain is looking very likely in the Grand Prix tomorrow. So let's just wait and see what we can do here in qualifying. I'd love to try and get back through into Q2 here. We are running a little bit more aero than I normally would. Just hopefully, yeah, if that rain does arrive tomorrow. We're taking a bit of a gamble here. Fingers crossed the rain does come, and then obviously we've got a little bit more grip, unlike we found last time around in Mexico. On the final lap, of course, of yesterday's race. If you missed it, please, just go back and check it out, honestly. But anyway, let's see what we can do this weekend, though. Esteban Ocon sets a 1:05.7 as a decent banker. We desperately need to make another Q2 appearance here. It's been far too long since we last made it into Q2 of a Grand Prix. Hamilton, a 1:03.9. That is ridiculous from him. He's already wrapped up the world title. What's he still pushing so crazy for? But anyway, out of Jung-Sao to finish off our first lap. It hasn't felt particularly brilliant, I'll be honest. I felt like I've been able to get the car quite placed where I wanted to in quite a few of the corners there. There goes Hamilton's lap time already. It's going to be a 5.8. So between the Alpines, isn't particularly brilliant. We seem to just have a bottom group of about 8 cars here that are all sat between like a 105.7 and a 106.2. And then there's like a half-second gap up to Bottas and, who else is it? Bottas and Pierre Gasly, sorry, as well, that are dragging everything out of their 2 respective cars there. And of course, 2 guys in the hunt to potentially join 2 and 2 Motorsport ready for next year. So we need to try and find a couple more tenths on this second lap there. That was a much better run through the first couple of corners, straight up into a tenth and a half up even, I should say. That would give us a couple of places though, but we need to keep it nailed around the rest of the lap. Still lacking just ultimate confidence in the car at this stage of the weekend, but we are a couple of tenths up as we head down through Jung South. The end of our second run there, quarter of a second up. It's going to be about 3 tenths actually. As we head up towards the line, we'll give ourselves the shortest run, but try and scroll off as little excess speed as we can. Up towards start-finish line, what is it going to be? It's going to be a 105.5. That does put us into P13 there and gives us a couple of tenths there of safety for the guys behind. That was exactly what we needed. Everyone went quicker than us right at the end of the session there. I thought we'd given ourselves the safety at the end of qualifying there, but what are we looking at? Guan Yu Zhou somehow found nearly a second. Christian Lundgaard found a good 6 tenths as well. Then Latifi found another half a second. Schwartzman even went quicker than us at the end of qualifying there, and we are well and truly a backmarker car at this stage of the year there. We desperately need something ready for next season there. P19 at the end of qualifying here in Brazil. I honestly thought we'd have made it through there at the end of the session. That is just gutting. I pray we get all these upgrades on ready for Australia next time. We're just going to have to get on with it. Let's dive into the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to the place where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the final corner. And it's the place, a year later, that Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's Interlagos, and it's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Interlagos, always a very special race here in Brazil. It's a 2.7 mile circuit with 9 lefts and 6 rights for a total of 15 corners. The fastest lap today should have an average speed of around 135 miles per hour, if of course the weather stays dry until the end of the Grand Prix. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Russell, Sergio Perez and Stroll, Gasly, Ricciardo, Bottas and Esteban Ocon, Verstappen, Tsunoda. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Robert Schwartzman, Mr. Monaco, Giovinazzi, Lundgaard, Fernando Alonso and Guan Yu Zhou, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, they've taken a grid penalty, Sainz and Nicholas Latifi. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Well, here we are then, on the grid, ready for round 18 of the season here from Brazil. And there are grid penalties absolutely everywhere. Has meant that we've kind of saved face a little bit in this Grand Prix. We are up into P14 on the grid here. Of course, that is the joy of trying to just, you know, get those engine penalties done a little bit earlier on in the year and then hoping we can hang on in the final couple of races here. We're going to try and do the soft medium, but of course that threat of rain, like we saw last time around in Mexico, that can come far earlier in a Grand Prix, and it can also stay on a dry tyres, wet track. Go watch that race, seriously. But yeah, we're ready then on the grid, round 18 of the year here from Brazil. Let's see what we can muster up then off the start here. Of course, the uphill run towards turn 1, 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Off to a pretty sheepish start there as we head down towards turn 1. Sonoda getting a little bit feisty in front of us. We lock the rear slightly in through turn 1. As Schwartzman tries to have a look past Esteban Ocon. They're 3 wide for a moment. That was Lundgaard and Giovinazzi, and both are Alfa Romeos. Trying to have a look there, but both were bailed out. What is that from Ocon? Super aggressive with our teammate there. Not too sure what his issue is with the 2-2 Motorsport cars at this stage of the year there. But Schwartzman left, with nowhere to go on the exit of the Senna S there as we head up the hill for the first time. It looks like Lewis Hamilton does still lead the way. Carlos Sainz with more grid penalties this weekend has not had the run at the end of the year there.
Strategy is available on the MFD.
Did we knock the front wing there? Apparently we knocked the front wing there. Car feels okay. Let's have a look through this next corner. As we've got... car feels fine. So not too sure... Oh, it understeers through there a lot. That's not so great. Balance is all over the place at the moment. Don't think it's worth pitting though, I'll be honest.
Confirmed.
Schwartzman a knock on though, still duking it out as we head back down towards turn 1 there, but again, Schwartzman just bails out of that one. Yeah, I don't actually think we hit Schwartzman there. Car does feel fine, just a bit cold on the rubber. Struggles a bit more through the high-speed lefts. But how many have you got of those around here? 2? Right, unless Ocon's got issues as well there. Yeah, we're really not losing anything to either of them at this stage of the Grand Prix. Hamilton, new fastest lap as he looks set to try and take another race victory late on in this season, just further cement himself as the man to beat.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Definitely feel like we're losing a little bit though from the front end, but it might be worth just going on to quite a fast 2-stop there, maybe mediums and then softs later on. Here we go now, Schwartzman back to the inside of Ocon. Ocon being so aggressive in these battles there, but is Schwartzman now going to get the better of him as we head up the hill? Schwartzman, returns the favour. There you go, mate. We thought about having a look there, but thought better of it. A little bit of understeer up the hill. But hopefully now we can try and get past Esteban as well here. Right, come on then. End of lap 3. We've got to try and get a run on Esteban Ocon as we head back up towards turn 1. Activate the DRS there to the outside of the young Frenchman there. And we do get clean around the outside before we can get back towards turn 1 there. So still making good progress.
Good job, nice overtake.
Team happy with that. Sonoda's still sat in 11th whilst Hamilton leads the way. Surely he's not going to get re-signed for next year. Schwartzman now definitely starting to pull away. Now we've got some clear air in this Grand Prix. It's Ocon holding up the guys behind. Might be worth now, like we said, going on to that 2-stop strategy after that early contact. Move on to a set of mediums now. And then go back onto another set of softs later on there. If the rain does arrive late on, we'll double check quickly.
No rain expected. No rain expected for the time being. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Love that. Yeah, we'll dive in now, go on to those mediums, and then if it does rain right towards the very end, we should be on a nice quick set of softs again. Capitalise on the extra grip. Not quite what I wanted in this race, but should make it interesting nonetheless. Let's make sure the new front wing is set to yes, otherwise I could just see us pitting in, and after all those unnecessary front wing changes, the team now not doing anything there. I really didn't think we had hit our teammate down towards turn 5, it must have been turn 6 even, I should say, up the hill. But yeah, apparently, just nicked the front wing there. Of course, the front end of these cars so long still, so we are going to be down towards the rear. Well, we're going to be last in this Grand Prix, but we can get our head down. We can try and get some laps under our belt here. The guys in front shouldn't be too far away. 8.5 second stop isn't all too brilliant either, but if we get a well-timed safety car still.
1 stop to go. 1 stop left in this strategy.
Back out onto the track then, and now we've really got to hope Esteban Ocon does us a good in here and holds up some of the back marker cars. 20 seconds to Nikita Mazepin up the road down in P21. Of course, now a point scorer in F1 as well there. Yeah, he did score points, of course, last time round in Mexico. But yeah, we're hoping we can try and definitely put him one place lower this weekend. If we get a nice time safety car, this race could still come back to us later on, but now we just need to get our head down. Well, if the early pace is anything to go by, we're taking a good 1.5 seconds out of these guys each lap. Love to see that early on in the stint, but of course we've got to try and get these mediums up to about lap 21, 22, and then go back to softs to the end. Oh, we got yellow flags out for the first time today. Who's got issues? Is it one of the McLarens? I think it is. No, it's one of the Aston Martins by the looks of it. I think that might be George Russell. Out of the Grand Prix.
The car is out. We need you to reduce your pace. It looks like there's a high amount of debris on the track.
I hate to celebrate George Russell retiring, but that has brought us back in this. Well, no idea what's happened to George Russell here. I think he's gone into the back of Lando Norris as they head up in towards turn 3 there, because Lando Norris has had to retire from the Grand Prix as well there. You can see Lando pulling over just up in front. So my best bet is they went into that corner side by side. George Russell has somehow ripped a wheel off, and Lando, yeah, is out of the Grand Prix as well. They're two big names out of this Grand Prix. When everyone else diving into the pit lane here, so really not too sure what we should do. Do we reckon hards to the end? Do you reckon we could stretch that? We could probably stretch a fresh set of mediums to the end of the Grand Prix. I want to believe. No, we'll go hards. We'll go hards for now. Hopefully then try and get really deep into the Grand Prix. No, we're going to go mediums. I've decided. I'm taking the gamble. I'll go mediums in this race there and see if we can try and get through to the end here. That was very, very indecisive, even by my normal standards here on F1 at 2021. But yeah, we will be back up with the rest of your runners when the safety car does inevitably come back in. 2.1 as well. Love that. But yeah, now we're still basically on the same strategy to the end, with a slim chance that these mediums can stretch. Going green once again then here in Brazil. And it looks like, yeah, we have got off to a pretty tentative restart here as we head back down towards turn 1.
2 seconds a lap to you. Good job.
No idea why everyone's braking so early down in through turn 1. But yeah, but remember last time round that we were last off a safety car restart. We ended up leading that Grand Prix on the final lap. But yeah, let's just see what we can do this time round here in Sao Paulo. I think a lot of guys now on soft compound tyres here, so we are probably going to have to just hang on over the first couple of laps. But of course they will definitely have to pit again, and we have got the slimmest of chances that we might make it through to the end of the Grand Prix without needing to pit again here. Let's just wait and see, though. As you can see, everyone through the slower stuff really does Constantina up there around the outside of our ex-teammate. No. Lundgaard saying definitely not to that one. Heading out the final corner, Hamilton, though, still leading the way. So it's a mighty fast 105.8 there, and race trim, that is ridiculously quick still from Lewis Hamilton, but all over the back of Lundgaard, back down towards turn 1. This time round we'll go for a classic Sao Paulo send through turn 1. And we're now over to P19 once more.
Great manoeuvre. You made it look easy.
Team love that one. I love that one. We should get some DRS soon, but that won't stop us trying to attack Nikita Mazepin beforehand. Last time we battled him, of course, he spam by himself in a Grand Prix. But let's just see if we can try and get a run as we head back up in towards turn 6 there. Mazepin goes defensive to the outside. He tries to muscle us there, but we completely mug him off. Absolutely mugged there, Nikita. And we're up into 18th. Next up, Zhou. See, the top guys have really just broken away again here, but I think this little train does extend up towards the points in this GP as we try to get all over the back of Guan Yu Zhou again, back down towards turn 1.
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
Oh, come on, man. I was literally alongside you there. That didn't feel like a particularly aggressive send by myself. Guan Yu Zhou just clearly never spotted us down the inside into turn 1 there, and despite hitting me, still decided to turn in. Right, come on then, Guan Yu Zhou. Let's try and properly send it this time around then. If the young Chinese driver's not going to give us an inch, we'll see what we can do, though. As we head back in towards the first corner here, there is Guan Yu Zhou. Goes defensive this time round. But we'll go much, much later on the brakes. Bit of a lock up through turn 1. We'll go side by side through turn 2 there. We will give him the room on the exit, but he does bail out. And up to 17th. All over the back now of the Italian, Antonio Giovinazzi, as we head out of the Senna S. Once more there. Gio, though, goes defensive on us, so we're going to slot to the outside. Oh, he just tried to come back at us there, but we do get clean around the outside. Still going to be side by side, though, as we head back down the hill. Now up into turn 6. Got the inside for this corner, but Gio, yeah, not trying to back out of it. We force him to in the end. As, yeah, this battle does just extend into the points there. 10th place is, I think, Esteban Ocon here. Of course, now a Grand Prix winner, both in real life and on F1 2021. But has only scored points twice this season, as we massively lock up there. No idea how he held on to that. Mick Schumacher in the other Haas car, though, surely is not going to have much he can do. As we look at the Uralkali sponsor on the back of that thing. Oh, Schumacher, a little bit sketchy. As we head out of the final corner, but we will get down the outside.
New strategy option.
And yeah, Mick can't even try and match us on the brakes there. We do get to the apex. What is the team recommending as a strat? Soft slap 25.
Copy.
We'll agree to it, but not going to definitely go with that strat yet. Latifi and that Williams does get tremendous traction out of the final corner there. As we head back up towards turn 1 there, he might get great traction. He doesn't have great top end speed though. To the outside of the Canadian. Oh, we give him a big old squeeze there. There is a bit of contact actually, as we really did squeeze him through turn 1. Get a little bit out of shape through turn 2.
Good job.
Team happy with that, however, so that's always a good sign.
Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
Oh, there we go. So that might spice things up then. Rain still predicted late on here in Brazil, but 10-15 minutes is going to be about lap 20, what, lap 26 to lap 30? We really have kept with Carlos Sainz in this championship battle just through the nature of Ferrari's lack of reliability there, and through the nature of my willingness to send it through turn one. Oh, that was close. I thought we might have accidentally chopped him there, but Sainz does back out of it at the last moment. So fair play to the Spaniard. Wasn't quite intended to be that aggressive, as Latifi's now looking for it as well. Surely Carlos Sainz, multiple Grand Prix winner, isn't about to get mugged off by Nicholas Latifi here. I think he has. Has Latifi got the traction out as they head back up the hill there? Sainz has got the inside though. Surely he holds on. So this must be why then these two Alpines are causing such a train at this stage of the day there. They're both on hards trying to get to the end of this Grand Prix here. So we need to try and move past them as best as possible here. Schwartzman, of course, on a slightly different track to myself. Intrigued to see when we're going to see all these soft runners back into the pits. I'm going to guess it's going to be between about lap 23 and lap 25 here. But we need to get a good run on our teammate if we want to attack these Alpines as we head back down towards turn one. There is Schwartzman on the inside. Again, we'll go around the outside there. Oh, Alonso slow as we head through turn one and turn two there. And Alonso gives us the room there. Great awareness from the very, very experienced two-time world champion there. It's going to be a drag race as we head down towards turn 3. Don't want to Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel it, but Alonso just doesn't have the bravery on the brakes. I went up to 11th. Well, Esteban Ocon in the other Alpine, of course, now carrying a lot more confidence this weekend and currently is still in a points-paying position. But we might just be about to put a stop to that. A load of cars into the pits, though, at the end of lap 21 there, so a little bit earlier than I thought they'd be. What is that from Ocon? Why is he giving us such a big squeeze as we head down towards turn 1 there? How many places are we going to gain, though? We're going to be up into 5th place here. It might even be 4th as Charles Leclerc heads back out of the pit lane. No, he's going to be way at the road. So we're up into 4th there, and that should be a net P3. Oh, sorry, up into 5th even. A net P3 of the Grand Prix as Hamilton still needs to pit, but he'll be out in front there. And Leclerc was running P2 in some pretty clear air. The real question still remains, can we get these tyres to the end? It doesn't look likely. I think we'll have to pit soon. And we've got the top 3 into the pits just one lap later. So we should be, like I said, up into P3 now of the Grand Prix as Leclerc might make some gains on Hamilton. But Hamilton this weekend, as we've said so many times this year, has basically been unstoppable. Schwartzman in behind us as well. So it was important that we get past all those guys as we head back down through turn 1 and turn 2. A lot of curb there. But we're going to pit in a couple of laps.
You'll be on the softs.
This could be great for the Alpines. Ocon there now up at a 4th place in this race.
Okay,
can he make it?
4.0 seconds.
Right, end of lap 25. Then we are going to dive it back in onto a set of soft tyres that should see us through to the end of the Grand Prix. Still no sign of the rain just yet as we head into the pits. Oh, that was close. 48 miles an hour on at pit entry there. We've been taking some big risks with that over the last couple of race weekends, but certainly, yeah, no doubt those tyres wouldn't have been able to go another 10 laps, or if they had, they wouldn't have been any quicker. 1.8 second stop as well. Loving that from the team. That's exactly what we needed at this stage of the day as we head back out the pit lane.
The white line on the exit will receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Alonso is going to get back past us again, and he's on softs trying to get through to the end of the Grand Prix. Ocon is going to not be far behind. So again, 3 times in 4 races here, we're going to be locked into battle with Fernando Alonso for points here, but let's hope it's a bit like Kota and a bit less like Japan. Most importantly, despite having the cold rubber, we have kept in the DRS range of Fernando Alonso. So sort of, yeah, with less than 10 to go now, it's just a matter of when rather than if we can get an opportunity. Of course, if you guys remember last season, we had that titanic late race battle with Sergio Perez that ended up in fireworks there when we came together down towards turn 4, but still all over the back of Alonso at this stage of the day. Let's try and get the power down out of Zhengzhou as we head back up towards turn 1 once again here. Half second, we've watched that gap come down. 4 tenths, 3 tenths, 2 tenths ago as we head in towards the first corner. Alonso goes defensive, we get further to the inside. Oh, there is contact. And Alonso having none of it this time round. We complimented his awareness earlier on in the Grand Prix, but Alonso having none of it on lap 28 here in Brazil, and we now need to try and close up a 2-second gap back to him. Fernando Alonso has effectively just poked a caged bear late on in this Grand Prix. Now I've got every reason to be as aggressive as we like in the fight with the Spaniard in the final few laps of this race. It's all to gain, nothing to lose here in Brazil, and I am getting redemption.
The rain is a few laps out yet, but it is coming. Be careful.
Team's still warning us. The rain is going to be here at some point before the end of this race, but with 7 to go, surely it's not going to have much of an effect unless it does absolutely tip it down immediately. Alonso, though, right back where he was just a couple of laps ago. We've definitely still got a pace advantage. Right, come on then, Fernando Alonso. Let's see if we can try and get back past him as we head in towards turn 1 there. It didn't work out well for us last time, but I'm going to go full send this time around there. Alonso will go to the outside this time around, try and catch him by surprise. And Alonso again tries to turn in on me, given the room. We actually give him a lot more racing respect than he did to us there. Hang him out to drive through turn 2. And we're now up into P10 of this Brazilian Grand Prix here with just a handful of laps to go. But Bottas, 6 laps, 5 seconds. He's losing a lot of ground. We could close in. Oh, we got yellow flags out. Someone's got issues, have they? Who is it going to be late on here in Brazil? Let's wait and see. It's one of the Red Bulls. I think it is Sergio Perez. So a second retirement in a row here for Sergio Perez, who falls out of the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
That is a standard engine failure, though, for poor Checo.
Green flag. Green flag. We're racing again.
3 laps to go, though. The gap to Bottas down to just 2 seconds. As now we're up to 9th place there. 8th could be on. 2 laps to go, and the gap to Bottas hovering still at just over 1 second. We haven't got any DRS in him this time round, but surely as we head into the final lap of this Grand Prix, we might just be close enough to go for something. Round in the final corner then, bit of a wobble as we try to put the power down to close up to Valtteri Bottas here. Just 1 lap to go here from Brazil. Are we going to get close enough back down towards turn 1? We are gaining in rather quickly on Valtteri Bottas, but it's not quite close enough this time round as we head through the first corner.
21 seconds.
Leading Schwartzman by 21 seconds there, and a bit of wheel spin out of turn 3 as well is not going to help our case as we head down in towards the Esquina de Largo here. Not going to be close enough again to go for anything here as Valtteri Bottas trying to soak up all the pressure here. The rain hasn't arrived late on here in Brazil either, as Alonso waiting in the wings to try and pounce on an opportunity if something happens between myself and Valtteri Bottas in the dying stages of this Grand Prix. Hamilton, though, takes home another race victory there. Pole position, fastest lap, I think, and the race victory. It's just what he does as a 9-time Formula 1 World Champion at this stage of the game. There starts the raindrops, but it isn't going to be enough to make an effect in this Grand Prix, unless, of course, Bottas or I make a mistake out of the final corner here. But can we get a run on Valtteri Bottas? We'll activate the battery. We're going to use absolutely everything we've got left in the battery pack as we head out of the final corner here, but I'm sure Bottas is doing exactly the same as we head towards the start-finish line. It's going to be so close to the outside. We've done it!
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Nicholas Latifi gets my vote today.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula 1 action. I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Brazilian Grand Prix there. And Hamilton, like we said, pole, fastest lap, race victory, easy wins for the Mercedes man there. 26 more points on the board. Not that he really needs it at this stage of the campaign there. But Charles Leclerc comes through for P2 ahead of Danny Rick there. Strolling for Yuki Tsunoda on a good recovery into 5th place there, it must be said, as well ahead of Gasly, Verstappen there, and we just jumped Bottas by, what, 47 thousandths of a second at the line there. I honestly didn't think we were going to get the run towards the finish there. Alonso, though, 17th to 10th on the one stop there, ahead of his teammate Esteban Ocon and our teammate Robert Schwartzman there. And you can see Carlos Sainz stuck down in P14 and the rest of your finishers there. Sergio Perez, Lando Norris and George Russell all not making it through to the checkered flag there. But, of course, Sergio still classified in the end. Does mean now 4 points ahead of Carlos Sainz there. 10 points behind George Russell, 14 behind Lance Stroll. It's not technically over yet, but we'll wait and see if we can try and get a miracle result in the final couple of rounds of the year there. Ricciardo jumps his teammate Lando Norris, though. Stroll and Russell do swap places as well. Then no other movers right down the bottom of the field there. And constructors-wise, Mercedes have pretty much wrapped it up then with just a couple of races to go there. But AlphaTauri are still closing in on ourselves. I'm so worried about what Gaz is going to be able to do in the final couple of races of the year there. 7 points separate the two teams now as Red Bull look to finish the year in P5 there. Very, very disappointing from them there. But of course, every team has scored as well there. You absolutely love to see it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure to leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, ready for round 19. We head to Melbourne. You guys do not want to miss it. A massive thank you for the continued support from our channel members, featuring The Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aiden, Eustathios, Kato and Sean for their continued support on the channel. None of the videos would be possible without their support, and if you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you click the join button below.